Always one of those, this is Kendra Truist, and I had to do this video because what she's saying is so accurate. I don't care what nobody say. I used to be those black women on defense about black women, and I'm not no more. And I wrote in her comment section, and I wanted to delve this on home. I'm gonna let baby girl, this is for educational purpose only, fair use. I love this woman's content because she is not lying even a lick, and let me tell you why.
That y'all's behavior and your... Hi, my name is Tatiana. I have been posting content about the India Ari and the Young Miami conversation. Right. I am having a very combative conversation with a lot of black women in the comment section. Right. Black women in America is the issue for the black community. Right. Black women don't want to receive guidance. Nope. Black women think that their behavior is appropriate when it's not. Right. Every time we come up here and tell y'all that y'all's behavior and your people and your children is behaving negatively, oh, well, it's not our fault, it's the school. How the fuck?
All right, so I'm going to segue into something, and I wanted to talk about this matter of factly. One of the issues with black women is that they don't like correction, and let me tell you why. And especially when it comes to how we dress, especially when we come to the idols we look up to, Cardi B, Young Miami's, Cardi Red, or whatever their name is. The reason why black women have such a hard time receiving any form of criticism about their idols, the way they behave, and especially when it comes to how we dress, and especially when it comes to artists, and why people idolize Cardi B and Cardi Red is because black women have not been allowed femininity. Black women get their femininity through being exploited sexually and over-sexualized. And if you get rid of the exploitation, and over-sexualization of black women, it leaves them feeling not feminine. So the reason why you can't tell a black woman anything about their idols, about the way they dress and the way they behave, is because it is because the way people fashion femininity to a black woman. A black woman is not allowed to be feminine unless she's being over-sexualized and exploited. Because she's fighting for femininity, she will turn around and want to gravitate to anything that makes her feminine. This is not to excuse it. I'm just telling you why they fight so hard for it. This is the only time she's allowed to be feminine. So instead of her hearing the critique, stop dressing like that. Stop doing that. She becomes combative because she don't realize she's dealing with insecurity. Her not feeling like she's feminine enough. The world telling her she's not feminine enough. So therefore, she removes any type of constructive criticism and see it as a reason to be combative. It must stop. To stop it, we must confront the issue. I am not one to try to get up here and bash nobody. But what I'm saying to you is, in order to fix this, we must understand the root cause. The root cause for this, and people liking Young Miami over India Ari, is about femininity. Again, black women in America are not allowed to be feminine. Society tells her she's not feminine, while simultaneously sexually exploiting her and all her parts and features, right? Because the definition of femininity is to be curvy. She's very feminine, but she's stripped of the title. And the only time they consider her feminine is when she's sexually exploited. So when you see people run after black women, run after a Young Miami, and then when you talk about how we shouldn't idolize women like Young Miami or Cardi B, and you'll see black women have a stronghold and get mad and try to come to the defense, it's because that's the only time they get to feel feminine, is when they are sexually exploited. So what they're really arguing is that I want to keep my femininity any way I can. It ain't really that they want to idolize Young Miami. They're fighting internally a different battle, and it's the ability to be feminine. That's what people are not understanding. So when you got people like, oh, Young Miami, why black women idolize whores that want to be like this, that, and the third. It's the only time when you look at Young Miami, Meg Thee Stallion, all these women, they're celebrated not because of talent. They're celebrated because they're assets. So you are looking at women who want to be considered beautiful too, who want to be considered feminine too, but society say you're not, as a black woman, you're not allowed to be. Only time that you're allowed to be feminine is when you bent over and somebody fucking you, or your butt is out, or your titties out. Them women want to be feminine, so they're going to gravitate to people you consider feminine. Come on now. This ain't an excuse. This is literally what's going on. They're battling insecurity. That's why they gravitate to women like that. So that's why in the comment section, you are fighting with women about India Ari and Young Miami. Because there are black women who hold femininity as tied up in sexual exploitation of black women. Hello, somebody. We want to keep going? When it comes to black children, when you try to tell a black woman her child is disobedient and disrespectful, why do a black woman have a hard time hearing a critique? Because society told black women that they're not good mothers. These women are fighting to not have that put on them. Society is the reason why she's combative. She is fighting the ideology of not being a good mom. Even when sometimes she's not. Because of the stereotype, she is now battling internal and outwardly the ideology or the trope of her not being a good mother. So when you tell her kid did something wrong, it automatically becomes attack to her parenting, right? She becomes combative. When people become combative or argumentative, oftentimes it is because they feel offended. They feel insulted. So when you try to tell a black mother that her children are disobedient and that she's disrespectful, she is in her mind, in her subconscious, you are attacking her parenthood, which society has been doing to black women. So now you can't tell her nothing because she's now offended because of stereotypes that tried to make her a bad mother to begin with. Right? So the truth of the matter is, this is the reason why you have so many issues when you're trying to critique a black woman about anything. Right? Because some of the biggest issues in our community, and I will not lie, are black women. And it's not to be pick-me-sha, this is the truth. When you are talking about India Ari and you're talking about Young Miami, why so many women would defend Young Miami is because their femininity is tied up in the perception of exploitation and sexuality of the black female's body. Right? That's the only time she's allowed femininity. Because if she cries, people tell her she's weak. If she does anything like a woman, they will try. If a black woman is dominant, which is a mother's nature, right? They will tell her that's masculine. They will try to make anything black women do look like a man and not motherly. So when you got a black woman who say, yo, sit the fuck down, that is her being a mother. That's how our mothers talk. It's a cultural difference. So then when she's addressing a man in the same manner, it is because, I said this before, a lot of black women who grow up without fathers do not naturally have the ability to know how to communicate with a man that they like. They know how to communicate with men they don't like. Brothers, uncles, fathers. And then mostly they see mother to son relationship. So they will talk uncognitively to their men the way they mothers talk to their brothers. It is not done on purpose. It's because if all I saw in my life when my mother is talking to my brothers, right, and the only time I've seen any interaction between a male and a female consistently has been mother to son, then that's all I know how to communicate. So when I'm talking to my man, I don't necessarily know how to talk to a man that I like. I only know how to be comfortable. I only know how to talk to my brothers. I only know how to talk to or be in a parental to son situation. But I don't know anything outside of that. So they'll say, oh, she's trying to be masculine. No, she's trying to be motherly. We're not white women. We don't talk like white women. So don't make me masculine because I'm assertive and I'm aggressive in my speech. That's how black women talk. That's how we communicate. See yourself out of the black community. If you consider it masculine, nobody cares. Nobody told you to come in our community and address it anyway. Mind your own business. Worry about your own women killing y'all kids and shit. Don't worry about us. Okay? How we address our men is our business. That's a conversation between black men and women. We are not trying to be masculine. We only understand mother to son communication, sister to brother communication. When daddy is gone, I don't know how to talk to a man. And even with my father, when daddy is gone, I don't see a relationship between mother and father that's not relative. Do you understand me? So I don't know what to do with a man I like. I don't know how to talk to him. I don't. Because I don't like my brothers. That's nasty. I love them as my sibling, but the communication is different. So when you're talking about critiquing black women, sometimes black women don't even know that's the issue. We are not masculine in speech. We are very motherly in speech. So when you see that black woman who's aggressively talking in a stern demeanor, that is not masculinity. That is how her mother spoke to her brother. That's how your mother speak to you. If that's the only communication I see between male and female, then I'm going to be inadequate in that area. Are you saying black women? Yes, you fucking idiot. She's not mature in that area. It's the truth. She don't know how to like a man, and naturally some, right? This isn't all black women. We're not a monolith. Some black women, or women in general, who grow up without dads, don't naturally know how to communicate with men they like. I never saw what it looked like. So when my mama liked my daddy, I wasn't there. So I don't know how she behaved to get an idea of how she should communicate. So now when I like this guy who liked me, well, I don't know how to necessarily communicate with him. And you're like, well, you're grown. That doesn't mean because I'm older. Even the Bible say, just because you get older don't mean you get wiser. Wisdom comes by experience. So if I have no experience in that area, of course I'm immature in it. So you have some immature black women who do not know how to communicate properly with men. And that goes the same with black men. Because they only see mother to son, that's why you'll have so many men who will lay back and let women take care of them. That's the only way they see in a relationship. Mother to son. The mother is constantly being the one taking care of him. Not having that father figure doesn't show him how he's supposed to conduct himself as a man in that relationship with a woman he likes. He's immature in that area. Hello, somebody. Come on now. And now if he does see male to female relationship, but it is mommy having different boyfriends in the house, it's going to paint a perception to a man. And especially if he don't know what's going on as a young man. What is mommy doing with Uncle Jared, Uncle Rick, all these different uncles that I just see and they in her bed? You know what I mean? Confusion. Now the young boy confused. This why so many men rip and run out of these beds of these women. If they see their father do it, they're going to do the same thing. It's a lot of immaturity in the black community as a result of having absentee fathers and mothers who don't inform their daughters on how to be feminine. I'm being honest. If we are going to discuss this stuff, honesty is key. Black people, in the matter of relationships, are immature. Not all of us, because we are not monolith, but many of us are very immature. And especially when we have never seen male to female relationship outside mother to son sister to brother. You understand me? It's a lot of immaturity. And then when we do see it, we will see a man say femininity looks like submission, and that submission looks like a man who gets to cheat freely, and the woman not say nothing about it. Immaturity. Leave that man alone while he cheat. Immaturity. Men will be men. Immaturity. A man is supposed to love who he's with. If he's going to be in a committed relationship, you have no right to say that you need to be left alone to cheat. That is not submission. That is abuse. A PC man is better than no man. Immaturity. That's desperation. Right? So these are the things and circumstance that we need to address in the black community when we are talking about black women, because black women oftentimes are immature because the lack of wisdom and experience and fatherlessness. We don't have experience, some of us, when it comes to male to female communication. So when you see black women liking Meg Thee Stallion, Young Miami, Cardi B over India Ari, it isn't because they idolize bad behavior. It is the only time society allows them to be feminine. It's when their bodies are being sexually exploited. Hello, somebody. If I am a stern black woman, and I'm stern in speech because my mother is stern, it will be called masculine. But I'm not masculine at all. That is very feminine. My stern comes from the motherly nature in me, not from men. So they try to, you got to understand, black women will fight to be like Young Miami because Young Miami is a sex symbol. That's the only reason why black women idolize Kim Kardashian. Why? Because over exploitation of our body is the only time we're allowed to be women. When we cry, nobody wants to hear it. When listen, I'm being honest. When we cry, nobody wants to hear it. They want to treat us like a man, but then criticize us. Treat us like a man, but criticize us for what they consider manly-like behaviors. That's why. So that's why she's combative, because she's now offended. Why am I going here? I hate this one. I said no, I wasn't shopping at Walmart. No more. Let me get on out of here and go back over there to King Cullen. I was like, I forgot that I said that. After they lied on that baby and lied on that woman, got that baby killed. I said I wasn't. Sorry. Yep. Bye. I forgot all about that. Be no hypocrite to myself. I forgot I ain't shopping with these niggas. But yeah. So I wanted to delve that on home. I hope that makes sense. I'm not making excuses for black women because this needs to stop. We got to learn how to understand that was our experience, right? And you got to gain wisdom, so that we need elders in our community to help guide us on how to navigate this, both black men and women, because we don't know how to do it on our own. That's the truth. We need to come together under one accord if we are going to address this issue. We need to come together under one accord to discuss these matters. We as a people, some of us as a people in our community are fatherless. And with the fatherlessness, we don't realize how it affects us, both male and female. So this is why sometimes it is hard to critique a black woman. And that has to stop, because you're not right, black woman, because you're a woman and a mother. Right? You have to fair to understand that you are wrong sometimes, and a lot of times. Stop fighting each other over everything under the sun, but let these white people whoop your ass. Discriminate against your own women. She thinks she cute. She supposed to think she cute. That's the whole point. Stop being insecure. Stop comparing yourself all the time. Learn to like yourself and how you look, no matter how you look. When you have confidence, everybody believes you, even if you're not the prettiest person in the world. That's the truth about confidence. I see a lot of black women trying to lose weight, myself included, even though I be a fat fatty sometimes. It's a slow moving wheel, but I'm trying to get there. In the meantime, it's time to take care of myself whether I lose weight or not, right? Well, I'm trying to lose the weight, period, right? But that's just, I see that there's a lot more black women who are doing whatever it takes to make themselves feel good about themselves. That's right, right? Have more confidence, be more self-assured yourself. And I want to say, but when it comes to being critiqued, black women, we got to open our ears. Everything is not to get at you. I understand that society makes you feel not feminine. I understand that society makes you feel like a bad mother. Society makes black women feel like bad people, right? Something that should not belong to anything or be loved by anyone. So a lot of times when black women idolize idols such as Young Miami, such as Cardi B, it's because, again, her femininity is tied up on sexual exploitation of the black body. Outside of sexual exploitation, black women are not allowed to be women. When I cry, men will look at me and be like, oh, you weak. They don't look at me and be like, okay, I empathize. No, they want to hit harder. They want to treat me like a man, but then expect me to keep my femininity. When I'm stern in speech, it isn't because I'm a masculine man. That's how my mother was. Mothers are stern because they have to set rules and guidelines for children. I'm not a man because I'm stern. I'm a mother. I have a motherly spirit. Stop trying to turn me into a man. And the only time I'm a woman is when somebody's in my vagina. That's why they hold and gravitate to Young Miami and Cardi B types. And nobody wants India Ari because she's not sexy. Y'all gotta stop playing with us like this. We are human beings. We are no different from any other woman. I want to be desired. I want to be respected. I want to be loved. I want it to be treated with respect. So some people are willing to do what they have to do to get back because it's insecurity. It breeds insecurity. If I, as a black woman, is fighting for my femininity and then you're attacking me, a woman who is the symbol of femininity for me, then I'm going to be insulted or offended. That is what's happening. Because again, white women, when they cry, even if white men get annoyed, they will hear a white woman's cry out. When a black woman cry, a black man be like, oh, shut up, man up. Well, then you don't want me to be a female then. So now when I man up and I'm assertive, now I'm masculine. You can't have me two ways. Either you address the fact that you are not going to treat me good when I'm in a soft state, or you admit the fucking fact that you must want masculine women. Because that's what you're saying. I can't be two ways. I'm not, well, you know, in a sense, I'm not schizophrenic. It's a whole nother ball game. But we're not schizophrenic. We're not a monolith. So even if some schizophrenic, we ain't all. Right? So you got to understand, you want females to be feminine or not. Because if I cry and you look at me and say man up, then you just turn me into a man. So now you can't complain when I'm no longer soft. Be quiet. Because you should be able to look at me and say, all right, she crying, I'm gonna back off. But if you can't and you say I'm a sock her again, then you see me as a man. So be quiet if I act assertive and according to a man. Because guess what? I'm human. I want to protect myself. So if I see that you're gonna take advantage of me and my softness, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna develop a defense mechanism to make so that you don't do it no more. So that's where you get that masculine from. No, that's not masculinity. That's called self-defense. Because now I got to do and use as much force necessary to protect myself from you who don't allow me to be feminine. Ta-da! Was that magic? A lot of these black women are fighting to be feminine. And you're abusing them. And so you're leaving them with the inability to be feminine. I'm not masculine because I can be heard. That's your insecurity. If you're a frigid man who can't be assertive and heard, that's your insecurity. Don't take it out on me. My mother was an assertive woman because she raised 7 children on her own. So guess what? I'm not masculine because I can stand up and be heard. God said that he made Hebrews to be a priest nation. So I get that from the priests and the pastors in my family. Hello, somebody. That's not masculine. That's Hebrew. Don't play with me. I'm not the right one. Okay? And that wasn't masculine. That's what our mothers say. That's black vernacular. Your mama tell you not to play with her, you know you about to get smacked. We're going to tell the truth today. This is how you fix it. Hello, somebody. It's Kendra with True Us.